Alright, so we're going to react to why the world's tallest tree is kept hidden by Aiden Robin.
I'm driving through the redwoods the morning after the big snowstorm, and it's pretty gnarly. Just down trees, fallen branches, all over the road. I know it's normal for trees to fall over and branches to fall out of trees, but with a 300-foot tall monster tree like these, the consequences are, magnified a bit.
There are secrets hidden in this forest. Trees taller than any others on Earth. Older than the Roman Empire.
Older than
so
the Roman
large
Empire.
that their canopies support entire ecosystems. Kept secret so that they won't be destroyed. Check this out, the Grinnell Creek Giant. If this tree were still standing today, it would be the largest on Earth. But it was cut down in 1926, along with most of this forest.
This forest is just 4% of what was here 200 years ago, and lately it's been facing a new threat. Because as it turns out, being the tallest tree is not a blessing, it's actually a curse. I want to tell you how these trees got so damn big, and how it's putting them in danger. It's a story about how gigantic our planet is, but also how much smaller the internet makes it.
Is there a limit in how tall they can get? Or if we just leave them, they can still keep going for hundreds of feet up in the air? Because also, how is it possible that that wind doesn't take them down? Because they're so tall. I'm guessing that if you have strong winds, that it will take most of the trees down, but somehow it doesn't apparently, because they have made it this long. That's so cool. That's so peaceful. That looks so peaceful, dude.
We're driving down the Oregon Coast Highway to a place called the Fog
Oregon?
Belt. A thin band of coastline in Northern California and Southern Oregon with a mild climate, tons of rain, and this ever-present coastal fog. Prime conditions that allow for the growth of ginormous trees.
Day one in the redwoods. As soon as we got here, got hit by a big winter storm. It's been snowing a ton and it's gorgeous, but that does also mean that a lot of the access roads to get to the big redwood groves and trails are closed. But they're not closed because of the snow, they're closed because a storm can blow down a tree, and these trees are just so damn big that if that happens, it can be a real problem. It can completely block off roads and trap people in these parks. So yeah, that kind of gives you an idea of the size of tree we're working with here.
Dude, the earth is so ridiculous. Beautiful. Look at this
The coast redwoods that grow here are the tallest trees on Earth. The tallest are between 350 and 380 feet. The largest are over 25 feet in diameter, and the oldest are over 3,000 years old. These are believed to be the...
Some of these trees were alive at the same time that Jesus was. George Washington, fuck it, shit ton of people. Some of these trees are older than them. Wow.
Largest organism to ever appear on Earth.
That's so cool.
Fossilized seeds of trees similar to redwoods have been found in places as remote as Antarctica.
Antarctica?
They're likely older than the first dinosaurs, and at one point covered much of the Earth.
There's these fucking massive trees in Antarctica. Where?
Trees can grow in places with almost no light, and they're fire resistant. Redwoods burn pretty frequently, but they keep going. You can find scars in the bark and hollowed out fire caves within the trees.
So cool.
These trees are so large and complex that their canopies support entire ecosystems hundreds of feet off the ground. Hanging gardens of ferns, rhododendrons, elderberry bushes, earthworms, tiny aquatic creatures, salamanders. Other trees even grow in the trees. Douglas firs, western hemlock.
There's a tree inside of a tree. That's how big these fucking trees are. They can be an actual plant or some type of fruit growing inside of this tree. That's amazing.
Sitka spruce, even small redwoods have been found growing high in the canopy. And many of the species living here are scientifically unidentified.
Unidentified? That's so cool.
When a redwood tree does eventually die, it spits out a collection of seeds, creating this perfect circle of new trees called a fairy ring. They look really cool. And the roots of all of these trees spread out and intertwine. So in a sense, this entire forest is connected.
I'm starting to realize the dilemma of making a video out here is that no image could ever possibly convey how huge these trees are.
Alright, so
It's
these trees are
so-
gigantic.
Dude, those fucking images look so cool that doesn't seem real, if that makes sense. They look so beautiful that doesn't seem like it would be from Earth.
Which sounds like a natural strength, but it's actually
What did this
been
guy record it with?
more of a fatal flaw and has kind of led to these trees' demise. In the mid 1800s, the gold rush brought hundreds of thousands of people to California. Logging accelerated rapidly, and over the next century, the majority of California's old-growth redwood forest was bought up by timber companies and harvested, largely in clear cuts and specifically targeting the largest trees.
Damn.
The fact that any of these trees are still standing is actually thanks to a pretty small handful of activists. In 1918, a group of wealthy donors founded the Save the Redwoods League, using their gigantic pile of cash to buy up 170,000 acres of old-growth forest and then just hold on to it and protect it. Fast forward to 1963, and the head of National Geographic thinks the redwood should be a national park. So he sends an expedition into these logging forests to find a really tall tree and make a case for protecting it. And it works. They find this 367-foot tall tree, the tallest ever recorded at the time. National Geographic describes it as the Mount Everest of all living things, and a few years later the national park is established, with this tree right in the middle. Fast forward a bit more to the 1970s, and there are plans to expand the park. The logging companies catch wind of this and start cutting down as much of the area around the park as possible. By the time the park expanded in 1978, 80% of the new land had already been logged.
That's so sad.
But the expansion still included 9,000 acres of old-growth forest, tucked away in these deep canyons that timber companies couldn't get to. What no one knew at the time is that those 9,000 acres contain some of the most special trees on Earth.
Alright, so there's good news and bad news.
Dude, I'm actually so happy that they were able to keep these forests alive. I want to thank those people. They probably don't give a fuck about who I am, first of all. It's only thanks to them that we're able to have these trees nowadays. Huge respect to those that actually want to stand up for these trees. Because they probably would have fucking cut all of them down if they were given the chance.
News today. The good news is that the Park Service just reopened the grove with the largest redwoods, so that's where I'm driving to now. The bad news is that I have to leave for the airport in about an hour, so I gotta scramble.
So there's a handful of people out here who have pretty much devoted their lives to wandering this forest, hunting for the tallest, most impressive trees. And in the early 2000s, they struck gold, discovering numerous trees here more impressive than any others on Earth.
Really.
Trees that probably came within weeks of being cut down. Among them, the tallest tree on the entire planet. The location of these trees was kept secret out of concern that too many visitors would damage the ecosystem. And with miles of bushwhacking off-trail required to reach the trees, the National Park Service said it would be near impossible to find them. But a few people still wanted to try. I found this discussion thread of people trying to find one of these trees, and it really does seem impossible. One of the best clues is that you, quote, pass through a keyhole in the landscape before getting to the tree. It's like pirates hunting for buried treasure. But somehow, in 2010, after 2 years of searching, the first person finds it. By 2014, 8 people have found this tree, only
That's so
one
cool.
each year, and all of them have kept the location under wraps and stressed the importance of treading lightly, navigating the forest respectfully.
Dude, I actually now want to be one of those fucking people that find this massive tree. It's probably one of the most. It's probably gonna be very expensive to, first of all, travel to California just to wander around the fucking forest for many days to find this one tree. But if you think about it, it seems worth it because then you will have a story to tell. Kind of like in the sense that it is an amazing story. You can tell like your grandkids or fucking kids that, oh, you went to visit that largest tree in history. And if you think about it, it can be cut down. I don't know if it's still on to this day, but it can most likely get cut down. And if you think about it, only one person a year gets to see this tree or is able to find it. It's just hidden inside of this huge forest. And how do they even tell? How can they actually even tell if it's the tallest? If you look up, it's just a bunch of trees. So probably a bunch of leaves will cover your view. So there's a chance that they might be lying. So even less people, so even more impressive.
But in October of 2015, all of that changes. An anonymous website leaks the location of many of these champion trees.
Oh my god.
Photos,
Never
GPS
mind.
coordinates, and detailed instructions for getting there. For a handful of the most impressive trees on Earth, a new gold rush has kinda just started. Within a matter of months, new foot traffic has caused noticeable damage to the trees' surroundings. Bushwhacking to the trees has made trails in the previously untouched forest. Visitors standing on their bases to take photos has damaged the trees and killed the surrounding vegetation. Garbage and even human waste has been left in the area. People have gotten lost and injured trying to navigate the remote and overgrown wilderness. And eventually, this is the result. A complete closure with visitation resulting in a fine of up to $5,000 and up to 6 months of jail time. This story has...
Dude, they fucking ruined it for everybody. You can't visit it anymore because some fucking idiots decide to throw garbage and damage the area. That's so fucking annoying. So you have to sneak in and probably risk getting arrested to see this one tree. Now it's not even worth it. 'Cause I don't want to get arrested for missing a tree. They left fucking garbage. They can't be that fucking unconsiderate.
One final twist.
Off limits because so many of them were
tallest
damaging
tree
the
is
surrounding
not
area.
towering over all the others. It's like a foot taller than the second tallest. Now consider that trees grow, and at different rates. 16 years after its discovery, it is entirely possible, if not probable, that this is not actually the tallest tree. What we do know is that if there is a new, taller tree, it almost certainly won't be publicized. Researchers are going to do whatever it takes to protect it. And it seems now the only way to do that is to pretend it isn't there at all.
Yeah.
And that is why this story matters. It is maybe the best example of the danger the internet presents to the outdoors. Social media makes it so easy for a beautiful, impressive location to blow up. But when those locations are sensitive and can only handle a small amount of delicate foot traffic, there needs to be a barrier to entry. Some level of research and effort to get there. It's either that or this. I don't mind not knowing which of these is the tallest one. What makes this place special isn't standing at the base of a tree and
I wanna
knowing
fucking
it's
be there now.
It's looking up at the canopy and knowing that it's out there somewhere. Silently growing old in a world high above our own. Thanks for watching.
Alright, first of all, one of probably the best videos, most interesting videos, most beautiful videos I've seen in this channel. I actually fucking love this video. It was so aesthetic, amazing storytelling. It is 100% going to get copyrighted because of the background music. Towards the end I heard it, I was like, yo, this is beautiful music. Yes, I'm gonna get copyrighted the living fuck out of me. I don't think I might be able to post it, but fuck it. I'm gonna try to. Regardless, this is an amazing video. Matter of fact, here, come here. You gotta like.